And we are here in the council chambers, and welcome to the fourth and final. It's the final Portland Children's Levy Allocation Committee meeting for 2022. Today I'm joined by committee colleagues, city appointed business leader Mitch Horniker. You're there somewhere, Mitch? No? Yeah? Not quite yet. Okay. City appointed community member Tracy Rossi. Tracy's there. I see her. Hi, Tracy. And county appointed community member Felicia Tripp, Folsom. There she is. Hi, Felicia. And our county appointed commissioner, actually chair-elect, Jessica Vega Peterson is unable to attend today. I'm also joined by Levy staff, Erica, Joel, John, Meg, Lisa, Yuxing, Rachel, and Nakuba. Oh, wait, let me do this again. Nakubala. Did I get it kind of right? Okay. I'm going to work on that. Anyway, it's wonderful to have everyone here. Thank you for joining us today, whether you're in person or on the Zoom screen. We're here live in council chambers. And before we get started, let's approve the minutes from the October 18th meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved. This is Felicia.
Thanks, Felicia. Second? Can I second it? Someone else second it, it looks better. Tracy, you second. Mitch, welcome to the meeting. Mitch is second to the minutes. At this point in time, we always open up the floor for public comment. Do we have anyone who signed up for public comment at the beginning of the meeting? We do?
Yes, we do have one person, Lorena De Garay, who will be joining us shortly. Oh, there she is.
Great. And do we have a 3-minute rule like we do in council?
Yes, we'll get that set up.
Okay. Thanks for joining us, Loretta. We look forward to hearing your voice, and you'll have 3 minutes. And will there be a timer in the Zoom screen so they can see it?
Thank you so much for the opportunity to come today. My name is Lorena De Garay. I am a Systems Navigation and Outreach Program Manager at El Programa Hispano Católico Única. El Programa Hispano is a culturally specific agency that serves Latinx families, and Única is the bilingual bicultural prevention and intervention department within El Programa Hispano that serves survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, and trafficking. Today, I just wanted to share a little bit about what the Parent-Child Program, or PCHIP, as we know here at Única, does, which is supported through the Portland Children's Levy. Our amazing parent-child specialists are able to support families through the home visiting program that is offered to survivors and their children through home visits that are carried out in the survivor's language and through a culturally specific lens. Because of the support we received through the Portland Children's Levy, we're able to offer a 6-month trauma recovery empowerment group in Spanish to survivors and their families called Saberes Poder that meets once a week. UNICA's Portland Children's Levy funded program not only allows us to offer Saberes Poder group and home visits, but we're also able to help families navigate systems in our community and offer a bilingual and bicultural family therapist who supports families and their children on their path towards healing. As many of you here today may know, domestic violence, sexual assault, and trafficking, unfortunately, can affect anyone in our community, and violence can affect our neighbors, friends, and even family. Some of us here may be survivors. We also know that survivors of color face a lack of culturally appropriate services, as well as preventative and supportive resources. Having service providers who share common experiences or understand many of the barriers survivors of color face is incredibly important on their path towards healing and navigating services. Funding through the Portland Children's Levy helps us continue to engage with our community in the most meaningful of ways. We can connect family to resources and programs that provide support, advocacy, opportunity for self-empowerment, all which enable survivors to exercise free and informed life choices, because everyone deserves to live a life free of violence. So today, just wanted to come here today and thank you for those who support the Portland Children's Levy. We appreciate your continued support and this important work that we're doing in our community. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much for your testimony. It's good to have you here. And there's no other public comment at this time? Okay, thanks. Next, we have some very special guests joining us. We have 3 grantee partners providing hunger relief services who will share reflections on service delivery. Portland Children's Levy Assistant Director Meg will introduce our guest speakers, and they're all joining us on Zoom today. Meg, thanks for coming up to the table.
Good afternoon, happy to be here. So joining us today, we have Jessica Morris with Meals on Wheels, Meals for Kids program. And after she shares with us about the Meals for Kids program, we have Allie Meyer from the Oregon Food Bank and the school-based food pantries in collaboration with Multnomah County Sun Service System. And then we have Amarino Guerrero with the Youth Grow program that is part of Growing Gardens. And so welcome and thank you all for being here with us.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Jessica Morris. Thank you for your time today. I'm the Chief People and Strategy Officer with Meals on Wheels People, and I've had the privilege of overseeing our Meals for Kids program since its inception in 2014. The Meals on Wheels People, Meals for Kids program is primarily funded by the Portland Children's Levy, and we serve families whose household income is 185% or lower of the federal poverty level, who are also experiencing barriers to access to other food resources such as food banks or pantries. The main barriers our participants experience are lack of transportation and chronic illness of a caregiver or child in the household, and of course, COVID-19. For qualifying families, we deliver prepared meals, milk, bread, fruit, and vegetables to children and their caregivers in the city of Portland. We also offer a culturally responsive option, which delivers protein, whole grains, bread, milk, fruit, and vegetables for caregivers to prepare those meals to their own cultural preferences. In January 2020, we were serving 184 families, about 3,500 meals weekly. During the pandemic, our program grew over 73%, and we're currently still running at 60% above pre-pandemic numbers. Last week, we delivered over 5,600 meals to 298 families in Portland alone. That's 712 children and 509 caregivers who received a separate meal through our program. The home delivery method has consistently been successful and proved absolutely necessary during the pandemic. During the pandemic, we were able to leverage the internal capacity of our central kitchen, our staff, our volunteer workforce, as well as our community and funding partners to ensure no one was placed on a waiting list, while also covering the increased costs of food and gas. As an approved USDA Summer Food Service Program sponsor, and after a bit of advocacy with the state, we were able to receive reimbursement for some of the home delivery of meals to children during the pandemic. Because the program in Portland has proven so successful, we have also received funding in 2020 from the city of Gresham and other funding sources to expand our program into Gresham, and we are still serving families in Gresham today with that funding. While people have been able to return to work as we slowly emerge from the pandemic, the cost of living, food, and gas has not gone down. We continue to hear from the families that we currently serve, as well as new families wanting to join the program, that they simply cannot afford nutritious food for their families. I personally want to thank the Allocation Committee and the Portland Children's Levy staff for their commitment to providing low barriers access to programs that are vital to the health and well-being for the children and families in Portland. We just do not know where we would be without you. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Jessica. I'll turn it over to the committee members and see if anyone has any questions. Mitch, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I really appreciated hearing about it, and I don't want to read more into it than I think I heard, but could you just talk a little bit about it? It sounded like getting the program up and running operated as a catalyst, then Gresham came in after they saw positive results. So I think we could say that the PCL money did operate as a catalyst. If you see it that way, I think that's something that we'd love to see, because obviously, no funder is able to do this on their own. So really appreciate your good work to prove out the proof of principle. And it's really nice to hear that some other jurisdictions and funders are following.
Yeah, I agree. It was absolutely a catalyst. And if we hadn't been able to prove over the several years prior to the pandemic that this program really did work, it took about 4 or 5 months of advocacy with the USDA to get that reimbursement for through the Summer Food Service Program sponsorship. I'm still advocating for policy change at the federal level, so hopefully we can continue that. But I agree.
I have a quick question, Jessica. Thanks for being here. So I always worry about children and families when we have upcoming breaks. So there's a winter holiday, spring break, obviously summer. So do you adapt your resources delivery differently during those breaks when they're not at school getting free lunches and such?
Yeah, we continue to deliver weekly. So each family, we deliver to them once a week's worth of meals. There's some eligibility to determine how many meals they're eligible for that week. But we continue during the summer months, spring break, the winter breaks. We deliver every week of the year, 52 weeks a year. They're receiving food from us.
That makes sense. But there's no different delivery during those periods of time when they're not getting the meals at schools?
No, they can contact us and ask us to increase their meals. Oftentimes when families are going back to school after the summer, they'll say that we don't need as much food.
Yeah.
So they'll decrease it. And that's just a one-on-one call with our program staff.
No, that makes sense. Thanks, Jessica. Would anyone else like to ask a question before we move on to the next presenter?
I just had one more. I just want to piggyback on your question. Thanks again for all your work and this wonderful program. And mine is a little bit along the lines of Commissioner Ryan's. Do you see a wait list that builds during the winter months when there might be a little bit more need, or is there not a wait list at all?
Every referral that we get, even if it's self-referral, we contact them within 24 to 48 hours. The only time we have a wait list is if we can't reach that person to do the initial intake and assessment. But we haven't had a waiting list since we started the program. Yeah. So if they come to us and we can reach them and they qualify, they'll receive food from us within the week.
Okay, that's great news. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, Jessica, thank you for your presence, and we'll move on to the next speaker. Maggie, okay if I just, do you want to introduce them, please? Yeah.
I see Allie on the call earlier, and I think she's probably ready. Allie Meyer from the Oregon Food Bank.
Yeah, hello, Allie Meyer, I use she and her pronouns, and I work at Oregon Food Bank as our Child Hunger Program Manager. And similar to Jessica, I've been doing that since our start and relationship with PCL about 8 years ago. Just for some context, if you don't know already, Oregon Food Bank operates a statewide warehouse with our main office in Portland, and we distribute food to 21 regional food banks throughout the state and Southwest Washington. And then those regional food banks, including our one here in Portland, distribute food in turn to what we call partner agencies or community partners. And there's about 1,400 of those throughout the state. Our specific work with PCL includes the management and logistics coordination of 20 school-based food pantries, as well as 3 summer free food markets, which are kind of like a free farmers market, produce heavy, that happen in the summer. Through these programs, we provided food to over 120,000 duplicated children last year, and that was included over 3 million pounds of food and that was fiscal year 2021. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge that we do this work, as Meg mentioned in the intro, alongside with our community partners and Sun lead agencies. That's the folks at ERCO, Latino Network, MFS, El Programa, SEI, Parks and Rec. We work really closely with all of those Sun agencies to coordinate logistics and help them move the food on the ground at each of their schools. It feels like a long time ago, but I'll share a little story about spring break of 2020. I happened to be on vacation thinking it was going to be a relaxing time when the news started rolling in about statewide school closures due to COVID. At the time, I was really worried about what this would mean for families who relied on both their school meals as well as access to the food pantries at their school to feed themselves and to feed their family. However, shortly after the announcements were made, I started getting messages in my inbox and on my cell phone from staff, Sun staff, district staff, asking, how are we going to make this work? There were messages of perseverance and creativity to figure out how we would continue providing the essential service of food to make sure that families were not going to go hungry because of the growing pandemic. So within days, school food sites had shifted their programming. They were operating outdoors. They started to use some of their after school staff that might have been the soccer coach were now going to be at food pantry helping handing out food. And all of our sites remained open and operating with little to no interruption. Not only did they remain open, but they saw their household numbers double between 2019 pre-COVID to 2021. There were some weeks where I think we were like peaks of over 300% of what they would normally serve. So some really large increases in our school-based programs. They have continued to kind of serve that heightened level. It has not gone back down to pre-COVID levels. And they've continued to adapt the way that they hand out food and provide resources to families along with the changing kind of health circumstances and school regulations about what they can do. I tell that story because I think it exemplifies the energy and effort of the staff and volunteers working at the schools to continue to support families. I also want to highlight new work that we're doing with a new position. My colleague Quinn is a community organizer, and she is engaging students and families in our work to address root cause issues because we know that food banking is not going to solve hunger. So she's been working with students to engage them in leadership opportunities, working with parent leaders in their community to help them advocate for resources. And that's an area that we're really excited to grow and develop, specifically working with student leaders in high school is where we're kind of starting, as well as with parent advocates. And those folks receive training and compensation for their time, and so that we can learn how to best serve their community. Yeah, I welcome any questions and thank you for your ongoing support for this program.
Thank you, Allie. Any of my committee members, any of you have any questions? of Ally.
I do. This is Felicia. Allie, with the rise in inflation that we're seeing across the country, do you see the demand on just overall food bank and your school-based centers seeing more of an uptick?
We are. We kind of thought we were on a bit of a downward slope of like peak COVID levels. And then I think that kind of first inflation has kind of kept those numbers back above pre-COVID levels. And yeah, we'd see a lot of just like general wax and wane in needs as gas prices spike, as the end of the month grows close. We see that general spike, or if folks don't know, SNAP tends to run out for families about 3 weeks in. And so all of those factors kind of are felt immediately as a family says, like, this is the place I can go today because, you know, the money's not there, or whatever resource I may have had is more expensive now.
Thanks. Does anyone else have any questions of our guest, our grantee? Okay, thank you so much, Ellie. Thanks for being here and for all the good work that you're doing in the community and throughout the state. Okay, Meg, who's our third guest?
Yes, Amarina Guerrero with Growing Gardens, and specifically their Youth Grow programming. Take it away.
Somewhere on the order of maybe, I think the permits are maybe 20 years initially, and then extendable up to, you know, maybe 20, another 20 years, something like that. So, yeah, they are, sounds like in the past, the practice has been just to abandon
Amarina, can you hear me?
floor because
Just a sec. I think there's an
houses with
audio
being
connection issue on our end.
so in places where they're draped over rocky seafloor, things that be disruptive to the environment to them. So
yeah, Ryan noted.
Sorry, we're picking up an audio from a different meeting. We're trying to work out the.
We're suddenly in a permitting meeting or something. So we're the technician is all over this. Thank goodness.
Amarina, will you try to speak again and see if we can hear you?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great.
Yay, loud and clear.
I was going to say maybe.
We didn't hear anything that you said. We heard something from another meeting, and we had no idea what they were saying either. So, yeah.
Great.
Welcome.
Oh, okay. Great. Well, glad we're back. All right. I will start over. My name is Amarina Guerrero, and I'm one of Growing Gardens Youth Grow Program co-directors. Growing Gardens is a local area nonprofit. We've been in existence for 27 years here in the Portland area, and we use the experience of growing food to partner with communities in their own efforts towards health and equity. On behalf of Growing Gardens and the communities we partner with, first I want to thank you all for entrusting us to wisely use public funds to realize our shared vision of ensuring that Portland youth from all over the city's neighborhoods can grow and develop into the best versions of themselves. We have 3 main programs: Home Gardens, Let Us Grow, and Youth Grow. And I'm here specifically to talk about the Youth Grow program, which is in part funded through Portland Children's Levy. Our program engages Portland youth in food and gardening, giving them new perspectives on food, health, and the world around them. Our aim is to work collaboratively with community members to leverage the resources we can offer to create programs that meet the needs and interests of community members. Our biggest program is our K-5 garden and food education program. We partner in depth with 10 K-5 elementary schools, mostly in East Portland and some in Northeast Portland. We currently partner with schools in Portland Public Schools, David Douglas, Reynolds, and Centennial school districts. Over the past 3 years, we've worked to broaden the availability of our programs to kids as young as those as well in early Head Start at Mount Hood Community College, and all the way to high school through David Douglas High School. Our focus on collaboration and centering the voices of the people we work with is really one of our biggest assets. We're doing this by developing and maintaining a strong dialogue with students, their families, and their classroom teachers. And what we hear from them really influences what we do and how we do it. This past spring, we held roundtable discussions with small groups of students. The resounding statements from the students was that they loved getting outside to run and stretch and see the plants that they were growing. And the close second was how much they loved to eat food during the programming. And that's light, but it's also showing how important that really is, that food aspect. They're hungry and they need it, you know. Just last week, I'm really proud to share also that we completed our first series of family roundtables where parents from 3 of our school communities had the opportunity to provide feedback. One father shared that because his daughter got to learn how to make green salsa in class with us and then take home a green salsa kit, that she was just beyond excited to make it for their family. And now every time they go to the store, she's searching out for tomatillos, looking for them to make more. I want to share a little bit more on what we do. We offer school day and after school education in the school garden and in the classroom, exploring food both as it grows and on the plate. We practice being gardeners with the kids, scientists, mathematicians, builders, you name it, alongside with our students. Our programming also links the school's garden produce and produce from local area farmers to the cafeteria through tastings, classroom kitchen use and cooking with kids, and then also sending it home with the kids through a variety of means. The work really wouldn't be possible without our amazing 14 staff members. And this fund really goes to support those folks so they can stay with us. Our team, that's really the other biggest asset, is the people on our team. We're a really culturally diverse group of Portlanders, and we have a really wide array of life experiences. And along with the interests of what the communities have, we try to incorporate the interests and skill sets of our staff to create programming that really speaks to the community. A quick example is our team member Angeles Martinez, who has shaped a program from the ground up called Semillas Indígenas. And that program celebrates cultural and natural history of food plants that are indigenous to the Americas. Semillas Indígenas means indigenous seeds. And so the kids are getting to learn about how to cultivate those things, the cultural significance of them that goes back thousands of years. And they're getting to plant them, tend them, harvest them, prepare, and take them home. So the idea there is really, you know, trying to connect it back to kids' communities and having them have the opportunity to explore and celebrate their own food cultures. So we're looking at basically working with 3,000 students right now. In the future, we really hope to strategically continue to expand that pre-K to 12, grade 12 programming, with the intention that kids could benefit and their families anywhere along the line in gaining more access to the food system, and in particular, the local food system. There's a lot more to share, but obviously time is short. So I just want to, again, thank you all for this funding, which supports our program and supports the communities we're working in.
Thank you so much. Questions from the committee?
Yeah, hi, I'm Marina. Thank you for all your work. I was curious, I like that you all have expanded the program to reach high school students. And it sounds like you've got some feedback from caregivers. And I wondered if there's any specific feedback from the older kids, because I know they can sometimes be a little harder to engage, especially post-COVID.
Yes, no, that is such a great question. At this point, our family feedback at this point is focused on the K through 5. So we're doing specific feedback sessions with them. For the high school programs, we do interview participants because our participant numbers is through the after school programs, through the SUN programs at David Douglas. And so the numbers are, that's not like we're working with, 1,000 kids in the high school. So we do individual interviews with those students after programming. We also do individual interviews we have an internship program through David Douglas in the summer around food systems. And so we do very in-depth interviews. And, I didn't come prepared with that interview information, but I can get that to you if you'd like.
That's fine. I just kind of thought that they would be different. So I like that you all
It
are
is,
speaking
and I
that.
would say, yeah, we're shaping those programs specific to what that information is. So
Great. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I don't have a question. I just have a comment. I was able to see your program at David Douglas and eat from the community garden there with your high schoolers. And it was just, to me, really impressive. One of the young women that toured me said this program was really something that when she goes off to OSU was really helpful and instrumental in her being able to study agricultural and environmental science doing the David Douglas program. So just kudos to you and your just amazing program, being able to witness it at David Douglas.
Thank you, Felicia. All I'll say just briefly is that I feel like the work that these three organizations are doing is really complementary, and that there's upstream work happening when we're working with the little kids in this way, and then there's this downstream work happening as well. And just really impressed and honored to be here and grateful.
Thanks. I have a couple questions, and your presentation was really exciting for me. My first activity in my civic life was it was called Jolly Green Giants 4-H Club, and I loved it as a kid, growing our own food. And two things. One is what I've always noticed about the gardens in the schools is how do you deal with it in the summer so the kids and families don't show up every day like they do until, throughout the year in the months of mid-June through the end of August. And of course, that's a robust time to be in the gardens. So how do the programs, how do you engage with the kids and families in the summer during that peak time?
Thanks for that great question. There's a few things we do. One is that a lot of our schools, so this has changed a little post-COVID, a lot of our schools offer summer sun programming. And so we have worked hard to engage in those programs and fully utilize the garden during that time. So whether it's usually a 4 to 6 week program. Also the early kinder transition programs that exist, we try to link in with those. So, and at the high school, we have a full summer program. So that's one piece. We do try to use them directly. Second is that we try to offer, we start offering all of that food, all that bounty that's coming to the food pantries at the schools, which do, as we just heard, they do continue, right? They're all summer long. It may change the hours, but it does continue. And we try also to find funding to create staffing positions that allow for that maintenance of that space, so that when the kids come back in September and they hit the garden, it's like flourishing. It's the most beautiful banging garden you've ever seen. And so that's a big part of it too, is creating those sustainable staff positions to be able to do that. Last thing is that we try to utilize crops that we can then preserve and use in the school year and show kids, how do you preserve something like the mint you were growing in June? Here it's harvested, we're going to use it right now in December, which we're doing this week. So to make teas, medicinal teas, things like that. So those are the ways that we do that.
I love that. This is a good segue then. My second question is, and I'm trying to learn about this myself. I do most of my planting starting in April, and then a lot of the harvesting, obviously September, October. And then some years I'm smart enough to put kale in, but I want to hear more about what grows in this area in the fall through the early spring.
Yeah. So basically what we want to do is we also use that summertime to plant overwintering crops. So we do have to learn how to do like a double cycle for gardening so that we can get as much out of those spaces, those learning spaces, and make them as vibrant as possible in the winter months. So we're going to be planting lots of leafy greens. We're going to be planting root crops. And we're also going to be having planted crops that, again, can be preserved and used throughout the winter. So it's not just about what's in that garden during the winter time. And we're going to use winter season extenders as well, covering and teaching about that kind of thing, and teaching about the life cycle and kind of what happens with the seasons. But yeah, root crops, leafy greens, and then things we can preserve and process during the winter, like seed pods and things like that, and squash.
Very exciting. Thank you. That was helpful to listen to. And I really loved hearing about how in the summer you're extending the learning and your partnership with the SUN program. You know, summer learning loss has been a big deal forever. COVID it allowed us to see just what an impact it is when we don't have as much in-person engagement, since learning is always a contact sport, in my opinion. And so it's really great to hear that you're working on that and expanding it for the summer months. Any other questions? Okay, thank you so much for being here. These were great presentations. Meg, do you have anything else, or do you want to take us home on this? Or should we shift to the next topic?
No, I would just say thank you all so much for taking the time to be here. Really appreciated it.
Yeah, happy holidays. Bye.
Thank you all.
Okay, and so we now turn up Erica. You're coming up to the table. Is that the next item? Yes. Erica and the PCL Community Engagement Coordinator, Rachel, will present on the Community Council membership. Welcome.
Hello.
As long as the green is on, the green dot.
Well, hello.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Today, Eric and I will be giving you an update on the Community Council, and we will be sharing the outreach strategy and application that was used during this fall recruitment period, the review and recommendations by the ad hoc work group, and the next steps for the fall recruitment of the council members. The general goal of this recruitment was to fill the remaining seats. So the council body would be made up of 11 to 13 council members. This means individuals who have professional, lived, or volunteer experience in the marginalized communities served by PCL, as well as knowledge and experience of the PCL programs in the related sectors. That being said, also looking at their commitment to the city's core values like collaboration and anti-racism, while also looking at if they work, live, or attend school in the city of Portland, as well as no conflict of interest with current grantees. During this round of recruitment, we had very specific gaps to fill. Please note that before the second round of recruitment, we did lose a council member who had experience with youth with disabilities. And that is just because they changed jobs and it turned out to be a conflict of interest with their new position. But going back to our focus, we were really looking again for those who have lived or professional experience with LGBTQIA2 spirit youth, youth with disabilities, lived or professional experience with youth in foster care, child abuse, prevention and intervention programs, as well as early childhood programs. In addition to that, we also were looking to fill 2 seats with council members from North Portland and 2 seats with council members from East Portland. To achieve the goal of filling these gaps, we did more focused outreach in the community, and we did that by the PCL newsletter, which reaches over 700 community members, as well as social media, email, phone calls, in-person visits to our local stakeholders, and that could have been at the Department of Human Services with our partners in the as well as our foster care contacts, our partners at Portland Parks and Recreations through local community centers in East and North Portland, and then faith centers, and as well as culturally specific community leaders, so 2 churches in North Portland and East Portland, as well as mosques, and just encouraging them to have those in their communities join us for our 3 virtual information sessions that were held on the 5th, 19th, and 25th, as well as encouraging them to encourage those in their communities to apply. This application process was done with the support of the Office of Civic Life, the city's advisory board program. They supported us in publishing the application on the 16th of September, and the application closed on October 31st. The application was made up of short essay questions, as well as just like other demographic questions, but really the focus was the short essay questions where they had 250 words to share their relevant skills and experience to help meet the council's mission, really focusing on their reason for interest in the council, telling us more about their experience in diverse or public groups, experience and commitment to equitable outcomes, as well as their experience with the PCL program areas, related sectors, or priority communities. So again, really like focusing on those gaps that we were trying to fill. Furthermore, during the second round of review and recommendations, 8 applications were submitted, and they were scored by 2 community partners, Jennifer Chang from the Portland Housing Bureau, and Leilani Ovalis from United Way, as well as 3 PCL staff, so myself, Erica, and Yushing. Out of the 8 applications, 5 applicants were recommended for membership. They were selected because they demonstrated experience with after-school, child welfare, and foster care experience, as well as early childhood experience. In addition to that, LGBTQI two-spirit youth and experience with youth with disabilities. Moving forward, the work group recommends 5 individuals for council. Those that have been recommended will fill the previous gaps from the spring recruitment. Of the 5 being recommended, please note that 3 have experience with after-school programming, 3 have experience with early childhood programming, 3 of them have experience with foster care and human services, 4 of them have experience with LGBTQIA two-spirit youth, 1 has experience with youth with disabilities, and 4 of them have experience with small organizations. The remaining gaps from this council recruitment are 2 seats from North Portland were not filled, and 1 open seat from East Portland. Please note that members that are recommended have experience serving these communities, even though they do not reside there. That being said, moving forward in our community engagement process, PCL will prioritize these areas and try to make sure that they're included and properly represented.
Okay, so the next 3 slides will show you the experience of in the program areas and how many of the 5 recommended applicants have experience in the program areas. Between the 2 recruitments, we now have 3 members who have experience in the early childhood, 3 in after-school programming, 2 with mentoring, 6 with hunger relief programs combined, 3 with child abuse prevention and intervention programs, and 3 with a foster care. So you can go to the next slide. Okay. This slide focuses on the current members and the recommended applicants' combined experience in professional sectors related to PCL's work. If the committee approves the recommendations, there will be at least 3 council members with experience in the sectors of education, health and mental health, human services, advocacy, grant making, and small organizations. If the committee accepts the recommendations, council would have a total of 7 members with expertise in K-12 and higher education, 5 in health and mental health, 4 in human services, 7 with experience in advocacy, 9 with small organizations, and 3 with prior grant-making experience. Since the council membership goals designated 1 specific slot for members with prior grant-making membership, we did not ask about prior grant-making experience in this round. So it's possible that we have more than that expertise on this round. But we have at least 3 members. Okay, the next slide demonstrates the combined experience with the priority communities that PCL serves. And if the committee approves the recommendations, there will be at least 4 council members with experience in each of PCL's priority communities. The council would have a total of 12, so 12 altogether, all of whom have experience with Black, Indigenous, and communities of color, 8 with experience in immigrant and refugee communities, 6 with experience with LGBTQ2+ youth, 4 with lived or professional experience with youth with disabilities, 4 with houseless families and youth, and 11 with low income and food insecure families. You go to the next slide. So at this time, we are recommending the following applicants are added to the council. They are Lolita Brodos, Cindy Amarachi Duru, Jamie K. LeBaron, Alex Sanchez, and Lisa Witroff. They would be added to the existing community council members, who are Karina Bajork, Alejandra Favela, Kamla Hurst, Diana Lee, Stephen Pham, Amy Ramos, and Lene Williams. So in a moment, you will vote on the current recommended group of council members, and once approved, Rachel will begin relationship building meetings with individual council members and provide support for the required city trainings. Then, in the new year, in January or February, we will start off with a new council meeting. And so next, I would like to pass it back to you, Commissioner Ryan, for discussion and questions.
Thank you so much. That was really thorough. Committee, anyone have any questions of the staff who've done this very diligent work? You've been at this for a while. It's been very methodical. Any questions? Okay, I have one. So we're back for a meeting in February. How do you see the intersection between the allocation committee and we know there's been discussion about this, but now it's getting closer, so it's more real. How do you see us engaging with one another as two bodies?
In terms of the scope of work, or how often, like in terms of communication?
Well, they're going to be at a different, looking at things from a different perspective, and they're going to bring perspective. So of course we want to hear that.
Yes.
This is all about adding value. So now that it's getting closer, it feels more real. So I guess I want a recap of what we can look forward to.
So the community council, in the beginning, they're going to be kind of just building themselves up as a body. They have to do bylaws, they have to do training, and then they're going to be thinking about community engagement and the community engagement process. Their role is really to be advising on the process of things and looking at some of these policy questions and making recommendations to the allocation committee. Your role, of course, is to approve, change, edit those recommendations. Moving on, it'll take a while before we get to the point where we actually have people applying, for grants. And at that point, they will also weigh in on recommendations, and they'll be advising staff on some of those recommended grants. But that's years down the road. The first is to be looking at the community engagement process and what are some of those key questions and strategies for community engagement. And they'll be circling back to you about that. I think staff will be bringing those recommendations. I don't foresee that it would be easy for the 12-member community council and the allocation to have like a joint meeting.
Sounds good. I know this was, as I recall, this came as a recommendation from the, like say, an audit or a strategic oversight of the work of the Children's Committee. So I think we just want to make sure that the vision and the recommendation is implemented, and I know that I want to have some responsibility in that in this role. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
All right, the three of you who I wish, I'm pretending you're sitting next to me because this is completely bizarre. And so I'm going to pretend I'm turning to you. Any questions from the rest of the committee?
I thought it was great work, great people. Couldn't be more excited about filling out that committee. Nicely done.
Well, I think we're ready to move this along then. Do I hear a motion? Not a motion, Mitch.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor of this amazing slate? That was kind of an editorial comment. Anyone in favor of the slate that's before us, please say aye.
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 Aye. And anyone against? Hear nothing. This passes by a vote of 4-0. Good
Thank
work.
you.
Yeah. Next up, we have our PCL Director, Pellegrino, coming up to give us an update about the grant performance summary process.
Really can't
Hello,
get more
Dr.
exciting than
Pellegrino.
that, can you? Okay, you can go ahead and go to the first slide. Hi, folks. You're all so tiny on that screen. Nice to see you. So we are here to remind you all in your oversight capacity as the Allocation Committee that pretty soon you'll be looking at grant performance summary process, which we did not do last year. So I want to start with some background because some of you are new to the Levy Committee compared to, or from the last Levy authorization. So part of our grant monitoring process usually includes an annual performance summary that we complete based on the data that the grantees provide to us annually. Those summaries include information on whether the grant agreement goals were exceeded, met, or not met, the grant budget and the percentage spent, the key strengths that the grantee had in program delivery, any performance concerns that staff has, and then the grantees review that document and provide their comments as well. And then all of those summaries go to the Allocation Committee for their review. So that's the process that we've used to date. You can take to the next slide. So in comes the pandemic, completely upsetting the apple cart, and state of emergency was in effect by the time we were negotiating our grant agreements. So we created the grant agreements to include the goals that all the applicants imagined they were going to be delivering in programs until the pandemic hit. So we also included in those agreements a flexibility provision that allowed grantees to meet emerging needs, which we didn't even know what they were fully when the time we were negotiating grant agreements. So those flexibility provisions included or allowed grantees to deliver services that weren't specified in their grant agreements initially or in their programs. They did all the things that you've heard about as the grantees have come to this table to talk to you over the last year that weren't necessarily what they imagined doing. So there was also a lot of difficulty getting data from programs. There was, the programming that was delivered was often done shorter because it was done virtually. All these changes happened in that 2021 first year of the grants. So given all those disruptions, PCL staff did not assess program performance against goals in the grant agreements that were written for non-pandemic and non-emergency times last year. Okay, you can go to the next slide. So for 21-22, we are, just want to remind folks that the emergency was still in effect, so that was last fiscal year. The emergency was in effect for most of that year. The flexibility provision in our grant agreements was still in effect until June 30. So for all of that fiscal year, grantees retained that flexibility in offering services. But many grantees did return to offering services in person, and some programs really could return to much more normal service delivery last year. Others had different kind of barriers. So there was, as you all know, still service disruptions, COVID surges, physical space, protocol changes as surges came and went. People had many more illnesses and absences and program cancellations and staff vacancies than they have had in the past. So there were, I don't mean to paint a picture of normality when that wasn't necessarily the case. But there was variance in what happened to programs. So despite all those challenges, most grantees were able to report data this past year on the typical PCL metrics, which are the number of people that they're serving, the number of activities that they're providing, what the participation looks like, and what the outcomes look like. So, and small grantees were able to report on progress toward their disability inclusion goals, which were included in their contracts. So because grantees, many were able to deliver services in a more normal manner, we are creating individual grant performance summaries this year, which will help the committee and the staff sort of understand what did the second year of the pandemic look like compared to what people imagined they would be doing. When we do those performance summaries, we're going to be noting all the effects of the pandemic on the ability of grantees to meet the goals. So that'll be part of the review process. And the summaries that we complete will go to grantees again for their comment and review in case there's any errors or mistakes before they come to you. So if you want to go to the next slide, we'll give an example of the form that's going to be used. So it's very hard to see this because it's pretty tiny. But those are the forms that we complete and that we have given to grantees so they could see what was coming in the way of performance summary. We sent them kind of all our guidelines that we use to complete these in November. So they have had a look at this. And I just wanted to give you all, as the committee, a chance to see what's coming your way on the grants for this year. And will help give kind of an understanding of what did this last year that had involved more normalcy for some but not for others look like. Any questions on what's coming your way? I just wanted to make sure you were all updated as to what to expect in January. These will be coming to you all by probably the end of January.
I can't see if anyone has their hand up, so please jump in. Oh, no, there you are.
I don't have a question, just a comment. Lisa, you and your team do an excellent job of prepping us ahead of time. So I don't have any questions because you'll come back to us with what we need to be able to do to get ready for our next allocation committee. And thank you for the heads up.
No problem.
Thank you, Felicia. Yeah, I want to echo that. I feel like we're prepared for this. I think because the school data has gradually been coming out, there is more concern. I don't think anyone's surprised that we saw some, as somebody who's been in that space for a while, some really sad reverse of trends. And we know that it's going to take the wraparound investments to accelerate to help get our kiddos back on track. So it's a very challenging time, and I think it's one of the stories of COVID that's not talked about enough.
And you're going to hear about it at the next meeting because the data's kind of all coming in at this point.
We need to be really honest about what the kids experienced during COVID. Yeah.
All right, thanks, folks. If there's any questions in the meantime, just be in touch, okay?
That sounds good. Thanks, Director Pellegrino. We are on to the large grant renewal process and timeline. Meg, you're already at the table. Thank you.
Yeah,
Take
you
it away.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. All right, thanks for bringing up the slides. So as you all who have been on the allocation committee with us for a number of years may recall, in typical past levy authorizations, we renew grants. We provide for a renewal opportunity for all grantees to receive funding for 2 more years after their current 3-year grant ends. So those grants are ending, our 3-year large grants are ending in June 2023, and we'll be looking at a process for renewal for 2 years for additional funding. Typically, renewal focuses on continuing existing services that grants are funding at similar amounts of funding. So I'm going to outline a little bit of the process and the timeline now, just to sort of orient you to what's coming in the next 4 to 5 months ahead. There is not an application process in our renewal. It is a process in which staff, grantees, and the allocation committee work together to arrive at those decisions. This is an effective approach to do a non-competitive renewal because it allows programs who are on track with their performance, like Lisa just talked about, to receive 5 years of stable funding, which is in alignment with community engagement priorities that we have heard over time about keeping organizations and programs up and running, especially when they are relationship-based programs with children and families. One thing I want to note before we move to the next slide and the timeline is that the second year of funding in these grant renewals will be contingent on reauthorization of the levy. So the first year is part of the existing levy, and the second year of those renewed grants would be part of the reauthorized levy. So timeline-wise, thank you for advancing the slides. In January 2023, the city economist typically provides PCL staff with updated revenue projections for the next 2 fiscal years, and those will help inform how much money is available for grant renewal. We are likely to be able to provide COLAs to grantees in their renewal funding amounts. This is based on our revenue projections that we had already received This is based on our monitoring of spending over time by current grants. Right now, they're underspent an average of 15% over the past 2 years. And also, we had 5 grants that ended before their contract end dates. So that kind of analysis together has resulted in us feeling like we have resources to be able to provide COLAs to grants, and once we have renewed revenue projections, we'll have a better understanding of what those figures could be. So we'll bring that back to the allocation committee in February, both the updated revenue projections and our analysis about resources available, as well as a confirmed timeline and renewal steps. Thank you for advancing the slide. In February and March, we as a staff will begin processing all of the invoices that grantees provide for Q2 and starting to aggregate that data across grants to look at their spending trends for this current fiscal year compared to their budgets. We'll also be receiving mid-year progress reports from grantees at the end of January, so we'll be able to understand their progress with their service goals at that point in time, and we'll be meeting with grantees to discuss their progress reports and any performance concerns that we may have. As we move into April, we as a staff will begin developing renewal recommendations for each grant, so whether or not to renew it and at what amount. And in order to arrive at our own recommendations, we look at those grant performance summaries like Lisa just described and understand the pandemic impacts of our grants, look at their spending trends, and then take into account our overall PCL resources. Those recommendations will be sent to the allocation committee as well as to grantees, and will include our staff rationale for those recommendations. Grantees will have an opportunity to provide input on them, and then the allocation committee will make decisions on renewals at an April meeting. This timeline helps grantees be able to plan ahead for the coming fiscal year and gives us as a staff time to take the allocation committee's decisions to City Council for approval and to begin negotiating new grant budgets and agreements. So are there questions on the process or timeline that I can answer?
Jump in if you have a question about the timeline process. This is my first one, so I'm just going with the flow here.
No worries. Hopefully it was clear enough.
It was really clear.
Great.
I think, is it unprecedented to have 15% underspent?
Yes, we are typically around 5%.
Okay, and that's related to COVID?
Yeah,
That's what I
it's a lot of
said that earlier.
staffing challenges, sort of vacant positions that have been hard to get filled. And since staffing makes up the bulk of grantee budgets, when positions are unfilled, they don't spend out.
Yeah, so that'll be a factor.
It will be a factor. Yeah, absolutely.
And when you say that because of that, and you could address COLA concerns, could there also be, if there's an organization that's showing the capacity to actually accelerate and really be a partner with the schools to, I mean, is there an option to get?
Typically done that because we would need to, in order to accomplish that, you all would need to decide on policy criteria around which types of grants would be eligible for additional funding and which wouldn't. And in the past, we have typically done that through a competitive application process. Given the time constraints that we have ahead, I would strongly encourage the committee to consider renewing grants as they are, rather than trying to think about how to increase some grants over others. And I think I would also add, considering all grant managers on the staff's experience monitoring grants and staffing challenges, I'm not confident that expansion is a easy possibility at this point.
I was just trying to connect the dots between the 15%, which was new, and the challenge that we're seeing out in the community. And I understood everything you just said. Made sense.
I figured you're
I think
living in it.
You know, my comment is 5 years is always what's awesome about this.
That's true.
Most people that are running their organizations know what they need to do, and they just need some confidence that there's some long-term funding. So that's one reason the Children's Levy is so popular.
It's true.
Anyone have any questions? Okay. I think you did such a great job. Everyone just took it all in. Thank you so much, Meg.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah.
And thank
That's
you
it,
all.
right? We're wrapping up?
think so.
It's the last agenda item?
Yes.
Okay. Because it gets dark at like whatever time this is, I thought we were going over or something, but it's only 4 o'clock. Thank you all for joining us. Our next meeting will be in February 2023. Dates and times for allocation committee meetings in 2023 will be set in the next month. Please check the PCL website for updates. Agendas will be sent to the Levy email list, shared on our Facebook page, and posted on portlandchildrenslevy.org. We welcome your participation if you'd like to join us in the next meeting or comment. We love your engagement. Just go and visit, again, the website, portlandchildrenslevy.org, or join our email list. And want to end with happy holidays to all the good team here from the Portland Children's Levy staff and to your families. And that goes to the committee members as well, who are in virtual land. There you are. Anyway, enjoy your holidays and see you in 2023. The meeting's adjourned.
Happy holidays, everyone.